Today we're talking about how your business and work can get hurt by emotions and what you can do about it. How's it going, guys? drtankpharmd here, board certified practicing pharmacist and personal health coach, helping action takers like you take back control of their lives and emotional health. And although I am a medicine specialist, I'm not your specialist. So if you have any questions regarding your condition, please see your doctor. Let's get into it. But before we get started, if you guys could click like and subscribe, it helps me a lot. Finance is a hard science. Physics is a hard science. Medicine is a hard science. There are data, facts, and figures to support your decision on whether or not you want to proceed or make a decision a certain way. On the other hand, emotions aren't a hard science. They don't have absolutes to them. That's why it's so easy to dismiss them as not important. But so long as the world revolves around people, there will always be a need to understand emotions. Emotions have their own language. They're a subtext of the actual language we use verbally. You could tell somebody they suck, and if you're aggressive about it, they'll take it offensively. But if you say it with a smile and a humorous tone, they're not gonna take it offensively and they're just gonna laugh it off. That's why it's so hard for you to send emotional language through text or email. There are various ways to interpret it based on the emotional subtext. You've probably had a situation where you sent an email or text and had it misinterpreted because you didn't provide the emotional context for it. And guess what? Without emotional context, people are not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. The first thing to understand about emotions is that you're human and you're driven by it as well. Emotions drive a lot of what we do, and it's the primary decider on our decisions. We as humans decide with our emotions first, and then rationalize it with data and facts afterwards. That isn't to say we're irrational, it's to say that emotions have a lot of power over us, and if we don't watch out, we could be susceptible to them. Let's say you want to buy something. You decide it emotionally first, if it makes you feel better or not. Afterwards, you'll rationalize your decision. If you want it, you can get it, and here's why. If you don't want it, here are the reasons why for that as well. Or if you need it and don't really want it, but you have to get it, here are the reasons why. The second reason you want to have emotional communication is to deal with other people. Say your significant other wants to communicate with you and tell you something important, but you don't understand the emotional subtext of it. You're going to interpret it incorrectly, and it may ruin your relationship. Now, your emotions are the first thing to go off, and these emotions can go off like a flash grenade, temporarily blinding you from making logical decisions. Your emotions take over, and you're not able to logically think through these things. That's why I came up with the Emotional RX program that helps you limit the emotional reactions that you have and help you make more logical decisions to help guide your life and your business. Now let's say your significant other feels unsafe in their car. You ask what's wrong and they say, well, they feel like the tires are wobbly. So you respond by fixing the tires. But that doesn't fix the primary problem, is that they feel unsafe in the car. They only logically decide what's wrong, it's probably the wheel, just to have a logical decision, but they ultimately feel unsafe. And that's the ultimate problem. That's the emotional communication you need to have to understand the situation. If you don't understand the emotional context and have the emotional communication to be able to understand it, you wouldn't be able to resolve this issue. It's also important to have emotional communication with coworkers. Everybody is human at work, so they bring in their own emotional baggage. Some people aren't able to separate their work mind from their home life. That's when it's important to have emotional communication so that you can talk to these people and see if they're able to work or do they need to take a day off. Some people aren't able to resolve that on their own, so you would have to step in to make that decision. Because if they're working and they're emotionally distracted, it could have severe consequences if they make poor decisions. Now, if you think work life and home life are easily separated, then you're lucky. You haven't had an angry ex or a bad child or poor family situations. You also haven't had a bad day at work and brought it home with you. It's very difficult to separate work and home life for a lot of people because emotions play such a powerful effect on us. Now, business deals occur between people, and when anything occurs between people, there involves emotional communication. So what does it mean when you see someone eye to eye? It means that they're able to communicate with you on an emotional level. If you aren't able to do so, maybe they're able to communicate with you emotionally. And if they're able to do that, that means they're able to open up things and make you feel comfortable. And when you're comfortable with somebody, you're able to open deals with them as well. As opposed to somebody who doesn't have that emotional communication, they're not able to communicate with you and not able to open up business deals. You're more likely to do business with someone you're more open and comfortable with. That's why emotional communication is so powerful. Now, if you're struggling with your emotions and want to know the top 3 mistakes people make in dealing with them, check out the free ebook below. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. It helps me a lot. And until next time, guys, stay healthy.